Hi, my name is Beth and I'm the sewing pattern designer and blogger at Sew DIY. Today is my second vlog. This is for February of 2020. I'm going to share what I've been making, what I've been up to, and what's happening behind the scenes with Sew DIY. So first, let's talk about what I've been making. I've been making a lot of stuff. So first I made 2 Lou box tops. So this is the first pattern that I released, and it can be done in either woven or knit fabric. So I made 2 in knit fabric using, this one's kind of an oatmeal and the other one's an off-white. So they're just really great basics. It only takes about a yard of fabric. So it's really great for stash busting and an awesome wardrobe builder. I did a whole blog post about it. One I'll put in a photo is just the basic Lou box top with a crew neck, and then this one has the sleeve expansion. So you can get the sleeve pattern from the Lou box dress 2 pattern or buy the sleeve expansion pack. So 2 Lou box tops, they were really just basics. I've been wearing them all the time. I'd have the other one here, but it's in the laundry right now. The second thing I made was a very impulse sew. I don't know if anyone else has impulse sews, but I do all the time. I just get an idea and I have to make it right away. So this is a Nina dress, and this is a pattern by Seamwork. And the pattern has a turtleneck, but I ended up not doing the turtleneck. So this was leftover fabric. I actually made a Lou box dress 1 with this a long time ago and just got it in my head like, oh, this would make a really great form-fitting long dress. So it goes down maybe like 4 inches past my knee, has long sleeves. It's pretty fitted. The one thing I did wrong was that I didn't consider how much stretch is in the fabric, and when I've made this pattern before, my fabric had a lot of stretch. But this fabric has a little bit less stretch, so I ended up doing a like 1/4 inch seam allowance for, I think maybe for the whole side seam, because I basted it so I would get my stripes lined up and tried it on and thought, oh, these sleeves, especially the sleeves, are a little bit tight. So I did a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I barely had enough fabric to do the turtleneck. So I tried on the turtleneck before I sewed it on here, and it was just really tight going over my head. So instead of putting the turtleneck on, I just did a facing. So if you can kind of see this. This is, instead of having a band, so like on the Lou box top, there's a visible band, and it's this strip of fabric and it's pressed towards the inside of the neck hole. This dress, I did it like a facing, and just because this fabric's kind of thick, and I thought it would be a cleaner finish, and I might have also been running out of fabric, I used a contrasting fabric, and it's really lightweight. And instead of pushing towards the inside of the neck hole, I pressed it to the wrong side and then top stitched it in place. So it's really a facing instead of a neck band. So it's really clean. I really like this dress. I've worn it once. I think it'll be nice for a kind of transition time. Right now I kind of need to wear tights too. This dress will be on the blog eventually. I've already taken photos. One of my most exciting makes from the month, and this is something I've been planning since last July, is the Alta Jacket. And this is a pattern by Pattern Fantastique, and this is on my Make 9 list. Let me see if I can hold it up. So it has a denim exterior, and then I used scraps of red flannel for the lining. And this is a really cool pattern. It has these lantern sleeves. It has this yoke that goes from the back around to the front, and then little pleats right here. So it's a really unusual design. It's really cool. I have a blog post about this that I will link below. So I've actually been wearing this a lot. I really like it. The only thing that's kind of not working is, can you see the hem there? Like This edge is just pressed and it's just falling lower than the pressed edge. So I might need to just do a little top stitching to keep it all in place. The pattern doesn't have you do top stitching there, but for some reason this fabric's just not being cooperative and it's not staying where I need it to. I'm not really sure why that is. I haven't sewn a whole lot of jackets in the past, so could be my issue on that, but it's a really cool jacket. I did patch pockets and yeah, it's really fun. It was a very different kind of project for me. I would consider this a pretty advanced level just because these pattern pieces were so unusual. It took a lot of thinking to figure this pattern out. So this was a really challenging one. And after this, I went on and did some of these easier knit pieces that were nice little palette cleansers for my brain. So the last thing that I made in February is these Mel joggers, and I've been wearing these like all weekend. And this is another pattern by Seamwork magazine. It's kind of a classic jogger. It has negative ease, so it's kind of tight. I added like 1.5 inches to the rise and 2 inches to the legs, which I think I'm pretty happy with. Like, I've been wearing them. It still has like my marking pad on it, which will wash out later. I need to find a drawstring for it, but otherwise I'm all done. I've really been enjoying wearing them. This fabric you might remember from last month's vlog, and it is a knit from Icy Fabric. So I still have a little bit of this fabric left over, maybe about 3/4 of a yard. So I'm thinking about doing a color blocked sweatshirt. And speaking of sweatshirts, this sweatshirt is also a make from this month, and I just want to make sure you can see it. This is actually my pattern. This is the Ali sweatshirt, and I currently have this pattern in testing. So I've expanded the size range of it. I think there were 7 or 8 sizes before, and now there are 14. And I've also added a new view, which is this one. And this is a more gender neutral view. So the original Ali sweatshirt tapered at the waist, so it looked pretty feminine, but this one just goes straight down. So I have some testers trying it out with some male bodies, and I think it's going pretty well so far. I actually really like wearing this view too. It just gives an extra option to the pattern. I'm hoping to have the updated pattern released in March, so look out for that, probably later in March. The kangaroo pocket is also an addition to the pattern, so that's a nice little extra detail element. Yeah, anyway, I really love this pattern. I'm excited to get it out to all of you again. If you've bought this pattern before, look out for an email from me after the new version is released, and I will send you the updated version with no additional charge. So in addition to my Lou box top blog post, I had 4 or 5 other blog posts. I will put links down in the show notes. First up, I had a post with 101 ideas for using scrap fabric. If you are a sewist basically at all, you should definitely go check it out and get some ideas on how to use your scraps. And then to go along with that, I did a video where I gave you a peek inside my scrap box. I show you how I organize all my scraps and what I'm planning to do with them. And then continuing my series about sewing tools, I did one video blog post with tools and supplies that you need for sewing a pair of jeans. And then I did a post with tools that you need for better pressing. So in both of those, I show you the tools and supplies, tell you why they're important, and how to use them. So one other blog post I did was about these Sun Daily gummies, and I was recently gifted these. They're a vitamin gummy that is supposed to support your skin from the inside out. So it helps repair any damage and prevent additional damage from the sun or smog or all those things that happen when you go outside. So I have a blog post that talks more about these. I think they're a really fun thing and an additional way to support kind of the skin health, which is something that is important to me, especially living in Southern California where it's so sunny and so smoggy a lot of the time. So I will put a link down below. You can check out the blog, and there's also a 20% discount if you go through my site. So related to that, I've been keeping up with my yoga and walking pretty well. The last few weeks I started doing more yoga and less walking. My allergies have just gotten really bad this month, so I'm trying to stay inside and use my neti pot and my my air purifier, because it's just kind of hard on me to be outside and breathing hard too much. So I've been doing my yoga. I wrapped up the Yoga with Adrienne 30 days of yoga for January, and then I've been using some of her videos from the February calendar, and I'm just, yeah, I love having that as part of my routine. And then I'm keeping it all tracked here. You might remember this from last month. I'm trying to remember to fill this in. Just like coloring in each day when I do yoga or walking. It's kind of nice to be able to look back and be like, yeah, I did do a lot of exercise this year. So that's kind of February in a nutshell. I've also taken on some additional freelance design work, so my focus is going to be a little bit more off of Sew DIY, just so I can get more money. That work gives me more money more quickly than this business or YouTube, which is nothing. So you might see me a little bit less around here just because of travel and other work, but I am still going to try to do a new video every week. I would love to hear if you have ideas for new videos. Let me know in the comments. And again, check out the show notes for tons of links to all those blog posts. And a few of the things that you've seen here will have blog posts in the future, and I will tell you about them next month. I'm planning to post a new vlog video the last Thursday of every month. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, I would be so honored if you hit the little subscribe button below and then hit the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Happy sewing!